Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope all of you are doing really well. When I started my journey with YouTube, we were in the first phase of the lockdown, and now we are in the fourth phase of the lockdown. I couldn't help but wonder, what has this phase taught us? What have the learnings been like? How have we been impacted? So in this video, I want to focus on some of the positive things which I think I learned, at least, and I hope you can resonate with some of them. Number one, humility. Before COVID 19, I think each one of us had some degree of arrogance about who we were, what we knew, how much control we had over things, how we had everything sorted. And when I talk about us having control, I'm even talking about governments and countries and organizations and communities. But then something like COVID 19 happens, after which all of us begin to realize that nobody really has the answer to even the most basic things. So, no matter how advanced we think we are technologically, in terms of our finances, in terms of whatever it is that we think we know and we have, we really don't have much of a control over anything. So I think humility is one of the biggest lessons that this entire phase has taken us to. And it's made us realize that end of the day, we are all back to the basics. All of us are on the same ground. It doesn't matter what strata we belong to. It doesn't matter what language we speak, which country we are in. We're only maybe relatively a little bit better than the other, not completely. Humility is the first thing which I feel COVID 19 and the lockdown has taught us. The second learning, which I think a lot of healthcare professionals would agree with, and I, being a mental health care professional, also agree with to a very large extent, the largest extent possible, is that mental health deserves the same status as physical health. When we talk about coronavirus, everybody is talking about anxiety, about stress, about how it's affecting our mental health. WHO has become an organization that everybody is going back to reading what they have to say, what they're explaining. And also there are an array of mental health professionals that are coming into the picture, not just those who are dealing with the physical aspects of this illness. So I think this is the time to really take this into account and make mental health care more accessible to all, work towards reducing the stigma that is around mental health. So I hope this phase will allow us to give space for conversations and dialogues around mental health. So when we talk about health, it should be holistic health, and mental health should have space in this entire conversation, and there should be easy access for everyone to mental health care. The third learning is a shift to what really is important. I think this phase has given us a lot of time, whether we like it or not, to kind of think and reflect on what is it that we actually want or need. We've all been in a race, chasing something, fighting for something, striving for something, being competitive for something. We always felt like we never had enough, or we always had to do more. Well, this phase has actually made us realize that in order to survive, we really need the basic that we already have. Now, whether or not we are happy with it is a different thing, but I think to an extent, it's been a very deep-seated realization that you don't need that lunch at a very fancy place, or shopping for a designer thing, or going on a holiday, or doing a lot of things which we felt were really important. We may miss them, but we've also realized that it's connections with other people. It's just the fact that we have a job, we'll be able to have a roof over our heads, we'll be able to afford basic food for our families, is what is actually enough to get us going. So remember this as a learning. Try and focus on what are the things that actually made you feel like you have kept it together, things that have made you feel like you've been able to pull yourself through this and focus on those aspects and those things. It could just be, getting some me time, spending time with your family, feeling thankful for a job. So remember those basic things and try and focus on them even later on in life. And I hope to do the same. The fourth learning has been that of developing a sense of connectedness. And when I say connectedness, it's not just connecting with our families or other people virtually or physically if we are living with them, but it's also about a sense of connectedness with who we really are or connecting to our roots. So I hope during this time you got a chance to really think about who you are as a person, because you are so much more than the roles that you play, right? So a lot of the times we may feel like we're more of a professional. Some of the times we are more of a parent or a son or a daughter or this creative person that we are, but we are actually all of this. And I hope you were able to find all of these versions of yourselves during this lockdown. So remember that your persona or your personality is made up of a lot of smaller parts, and we need to take a moment sometimes, step back and really nurture different aspects of our personality. So it's absolutely okay for you to have career goals and be go-getters, but also embrace the creative side to you, embrace the side that needs to be enriched. It could be taking up a hobby. Embrace the side where you feel like connecting with your family. So a sense of connectedness was a lesson that many of us learned or resonated with this entire sentiment during this lockdown. And a really fun activity I would urge you to do at the end of this video, by putting everything together, I feel this activity may give you a good sense of everything that we've been talking about, is to actually make a vision board. So it's not something that only young people or college students or millennials are supposed to do. You could do this irrespective of how old you are. So you could just put out a board in front of you. It could be a chart paper and stick pictures of things that you love. You could even have goals of what you want to do. So it could be like a bucket list, a place that you really want to travel to, write about that, something that you achieved years back and it was an important aspect of growing up or becoming the person that you are. You could write about that. And a vision board also is great because it takes your attention away from only focusing on one aspect of your personality or your persona, which is probably getting a job or getting into a course. It could be so much more, right? There's so many learnings. I would love to actually hear from you and know what are the other things that you learned during this time. It could be things as small as connecting with your own inner self and being comfortable with your own thoughts and feelings, taking up exercise more seriously, spending more time with your family, or even allowing yourself to do nothing once in a while. So I hope I hear from you as well. I also have a really interesting Instagram page. Do check it out and subscribe to the channel. I hope to see you again very soon with another video. Goodbye and take care.